Hello, everyone. Matt, we and I will be using the full 45 minutes, so please sit back, relax, get comfortable, pull out your Temple Run. Temple Run 2 if you fancied the update. All right, thank you. April Fools! We'll only use 43 minutes. Many of my close friends already know this, but I have a strange relationship with sleep. Sometimes I sleep a lot, other times not at all. I sleep at the wrong times, I wake up at the wrong times. This is what you could call an unhealthy relationship. My sleep schedule had its bumps freshman and sophomore year when I would stay up past lights out. Yes, I thought I was a badass when I stayed up until 11. However, I think it's pretty normal to stay up past 10:30 a handful of nights to complete homework, text your prospective crush for just a little longer, or simply because you cannot stop playing Bejeweled. My sleep schedule really changed my junior year. The constraints of lights out no longer affected me as a monitor in Congdon, so my nights began dragging on to 1:30. It didn't help that my co-Congdon monitor, Betsy Sednawi, shared the same desire to stay awake until our eyes started to involuntarily shut. But despite our late nights, we managed fine in the day, completing assignments in a timely fashion and performing well in class. We thought we were invincible, but as everyone will discover at one point or another, invincibility does not exist. What enlightened us, you ask? AP US History. Mr. Antonucci, I'm sorry for what you were about to hear. It was a cold and dark Sunday night in November, the night before our first 8-push research paper was due. Library books were strewn across my desk, floor, and bed. Betsy and I stared at the blank Word documents on our computer screens. Although we could not admit it to each other, we were not in a good place. To calm ourselves down, we said one phrase, a phrase that was repeated into the wee hours of the morning. Don't worry, we have all night to write this paper. It may have seemed like that at 9:30 p.m., but unfortunately, we were still repeating those words at 4 in the morning. During an all-nighter to write an intensive 4 to 7-page research paper, the student at hand experiences 4 stages. The student first feels confident, ready to tackle the assignment. After an hour of work, the student begins to feel drowsy, unsure that anything can be accomplished. Then comes the fun stage. Complete delirium overwhelms the sleep-deprived student, lasting about 4 hours. Please be advised, anything from hysterical laughter to spastic dancing to conversations with yourself can occur. Finally, reality hits, and the urgency to complete the assignment refocuses the half-crazed student. Betsy and I hit the last stage at 6 a.m. Both of us had only completed about a page of the research paper. Needless to say, we banged it out just in time. However, our suffering did not end when we handled in those research papers. The next week was hell. Our sleep cycles were more screwed up than usual. We continuously fell asleep in classes, and we were far more sensitive and emotional. So please, take my advice, avoid all-nighters at any cost. I'm sure you've noticed the photos of impromptu naps behind me. You can tell by all your odd-placed laughter. However, naps are extremely common and worthwhile at Taft. However, I think some of us have brought napping to a new level, not something I am particularly proud of. A couple of weeks before spring break, I heard Betsy and Liz open my door and quietly peek into my dimly lit room. "Oh wow, she's not in her bed," Betsy announced to Liz. Liz looked at Betsy with astonishment. Lo and behold, I was not in my bed, but on the sofa next to my bed, dazed from being woken up from a long nap. If I am MIA for a certain extent of time, my friends are comforted by immediately assuming that I am somewhere sleeping. I wish I were a little less predictable. Naps are great, comforting, necessary, but if you feel like you are constantly choosing sporadic moments to sleep over hanging out with your friends, it might be time to reevaluate your sleeping schedule. I am almost done with my senior year, and only now do I realize how important it is to spend as much time as possible enjoying Taft. Taft is a school, Taft is a home, Taft is a parent, and Taft is an experience. Although Taft's rules may seem smothering at times, they are here to guide you. If there had not been lights out freshman and sophomore year, who knows how much screwier my sleep schedule would be. Taft is here to help, give you a push in the right direction. I understand the desire to rebel against it once in a while, but use what Taft has given you to grow. I hope that one day I can reform my sleeping habits and manage to maintain a schedule of lights out at a certain time every night so that I can enjoy everything that each day offers. Instead of spending your time complaining about the rules, let Taft do its job and grow from each experience you have, preferably while you are conscious. Thank you.
Hello, hello. Something coming up, Blake? Oh, here we go. Hi. 5 months ago, when I told Mr. Gunnell that I would give a senior speech, I thought I was going to rap and be silly. But then I thought this would be one of very few moments where I can share my personal story, a story that very few people know about because I almost never told anyone. Story about my childhood that I spent in North Korea and how I made it to America to go to school, and how my family suffered during the process, and how my sister got imprisoned by our government. And thanks to Mr. Fu for keeping my nationality a secret since my sophomore year until today. And just out of curiosity, raise your hands if you ever suspected that I'm not from South Korea, but from North. Good, because I'm just kidding. I, I want to talk about awkward moments that I spent at Taft. Awkward moments when you learn that there's no swimming pool at Taft after you come to Taft. As some of you know, I cannot swim. I just don't know how to float in the water. If the water gets deeper than or equal to my height, I just go like, you know? The summer before I came to Taft, I was in Italy for vacation. And on the last day of the trip, it was so hot that I decided to play around in the water. And I almost got drowned. Except a random Italian guy saved me. So I came to Taft, determined to learn how to swim and expecting a beautiful swimming pool. And on the first night at the dining hall, I was talking to this senior, and he asked me about my goal and how I, like Taft so far. So I told him, yeah, blah blah blah, and I'm, really planning to learn how to swim. And this guy just looks at me with this combination of pity, amusement, and the face that says like, "You're kidding, right?" And I guess when you tour around multiple private high schools, they all look the same, and they all have this beautiful swimming pool, except Taft. It turned out. So as a result, I still didn't know how to swim. Thanks, Mr. Taft. Awkward moments when you first learn that your dorm has a public shower. I'm pretty sure some of you had a similar experience. Sophomore year, I came early for a preseason, and after the first practice, I came up to my dorm, HT3, and opened the bathroom. And I saw these showers that are completely open. Like, whoa, I said, wait a minute. You know, And I guess my tour guide was just so good at not telling stuff, like the lack of swimming pool and this. Maybe Miss Burns told him not to mention about it or something. And how awkward it was during the preseason, taking a shower with 7 feet tall Shane Hardy in complete silence. How how both of us trying so hard to not look at each other. But after 3 weeks, I came to love it. Chilling with other dudes all naked. But for the but for the first week, I imagined all the possibilities, like taking a shower up in the gym every morning, or just not taking it for a year. Awkward moments when you make hundreds of announcements about wrap up the scene, and thousands of emails about We Laundry delivery service, and very few people participate. What I don't understand is that everyone gets so excited about these things, and so many people ask me like, "Yo, how much money do you make with that laundry thingy?" Or how many people submitted for the wrap up the scene? And they say this biggest lie in the human history ever, because I'm gonna think about make something to wrap up the scene, and they never do that. But I just want to say that I absolutely appreciate all the excitement you have given me for all my projects and businesses. no matter how bizarre they are. And hopefully this spring the rapid scene resurrects again. See, we all have some awkward moments. It's a day-to-day business, like walking on the main hallway while someone else you don't really know is coming from the opposite side. The hallway feels so long, and the wall suddenly becomes so interesting that you're looking at it the entire time you're walking, avoiding eye contact. Like not knowing the name of a person sitting next to you in Bingham or in class because you think it's just too late or awkward to ask for a name by now. I see some guilty faces out there. So you decide to refer to him or her as hey or you. What about this? You meet this faculty at the dining hall by the entrance, have a nice little conversation, and you say bye to him. And you meet him again at the salad bar, and again at the pizza station. And you're afraid that you will meet him again at the drink machine, and of course you do. So you go to the opposite side drink machine, trying to avoid him forever. Or what about this? Writing a long email to a teacher or friend, putting so much emotional effort into it, and they just never reply you back. And even worse, when you click the history, you see that that person has read it with those two eyeballs hanging around a while ago. And you just don't know what to do when you bump into them. Like, should I say, oh, did you read my email by any chance? And I asked this, even though I know you read my email, but I asked this anyway. Now, all these awkward moments. I just want to point out that the fact that we consider some moments as awkward is really intertwined with our fact of getting embarrassed or ridiculed. And to be honest, we hate to be embarrassed, and we remember these moments for a very long time, especially when we lie on our beds trying to sleep, and suddenly recalling the stupidest things you ever did, and wanting to scream like, God, why the hell did I do that? You just want to time travel and slap on your own face. But I'll tell you what, it's okay to be embarrassed, and in fact, we should have as many embarrassing moments as possible while we're still young, while those moments are capable of being just funny moments and good stories to tell, funny memories. And these moments make life dynamic. When I was young, whenever I have a brilliant idea of doing something, I tend to think like, if I say or do this thing, would this make people laugh at me? And I just shy it away. But at some point in my life, I decided to just do it, like Nike says. And, fighting against my fear of getting embarrassed. And the interesting happened. The more I tried to seem to be brave, the braver I got. The more I did things that other people shy away from, afraid to look stupid, I became more perceived as the fearless one by other people and myself. So, fight against your fear of failure and fear of embarrassment and do some crazy things. Don't let the notion that other people will laugh at you because of what you decide to do. People laughed when Walt Disney dreamed about creating this world of animated characters. And people laughed when Michael Jordan dreamed of being an NBA when he got cut from the high school team. And people, of course, laughed when Matt Wee said he would rap at the talent show when he was in 6th grade, because he was just a quiet, shy boy. But now, well, some people still laugh. Now, I'm not going to end my speech with the all-time classic, don't take it for granted. Whenever people say that, I want to ask, what the hell do you mean by that, But I'm going to change it a little and put it in my own way. Don't take it for granted, if you know what I mean. Go out there, do some crazy things,